name's Andrew, and I just sold my car, packed a bag with my cameras, and booked a one-way flight to Thailand for 3 months to figure out what's next in life. But before we get there, we have to go back to where this all started. Hey, I'm Andrew, and I always knew that there was way more to life than what I was being told, and way more possibility and potential than the path that most of us are presented with. You know, the typical get a degree, get a good paying job with great benefits, work 5 days a week for 2 days of freedom, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people find fulfillment and purpose in that path, and that's awesome, but deep down, I always knew it just wasn't for me. I refused to sacrifice my curiosity and youth, being completely absent from life around me and caught in a mindless loop until I'm too old and tired to fully experience everything that life has to offer. So early on, I made a conscious decision to always try and maintain control over my own time and only invest myself into things that felt right, even if that meant starting over from scratch and completely changing directions when things weren't in alignment anymore. Over the years, it took me in quite a few different directions. I worked my way up in the service industry and ultimately really connecting with bartending, winemaking, and the world of mixology. And I love connecting with people in that way. And as an added bonus, it really helped me step out of my comfort zone because engaging with people and talking to strangers was always extremely difficult growing up. But eventually I could feel this chapter coming to its end. So I went back to school part-time for graphic design just to try a new creative outlet and see where that led me. Then, as soon as the pandemic hit, I was offered an internship doing some graphic work and helping produce a podcast, all while the service industry got completely destroyed. So I was forced in this position to really figure something out. And as soon as things became less strict, more and more was in person, I got some really cool chances to work behind the camera. And from then on, I was hooked. I became obsessed with learning everything I could about photography and film production, really getting into the weeds and cultivating my own voice. Over the next 5 years, I successfully built a creative career from the ground up, working with brands, helping launch businesses, and bringing people's visions to life. It was everything I dreamed of. Getting to do what I love and it actually supporting me, I felt so blessed. But there was a side of it that I was not prepared for. I'm sure most creatives can resonate with this, but when you turn something you love into your livelihood, it drastically changes your relationship with it, especially when you're working for yourself. Suddenly, the thing that you used to wake up excited to do becomes the thing that's solely responsible for your survival. And when work gets slow, fear creeps in. So you just start saying yes to everything, taking on projects you're not excited about, and surrounding yourself with people that drain your energy, just for the sake of getting by till next month. Slowly, without even realizing it, the one thing that I loved more than anything became the one thing that I never wanted it to be, which was just another job that I resented, completely emotionally checked out and disengaged. You know, art and creativity for me have always been a means of release and purpose, and I could feel myself losing it, losing myself. That's when slowing down and turning inwards in ways I never had before mattered most. Then suddenly, something woke up inside me, and the more I explored it, the more I was able to reconnect with parts of myself that I thought I'd completely lost in the chaos of building a career. So I made a conscious effort to find some balance again. And for me, that always meant going somewhere far to experience something different and reconnect with myself in nature. I focused on finding work that was further away and taking on only what felt aligned, with the ultimate goal of working abroad. Over time, I was presented a few opportunities to travel internationally for work, which got me super excited, but for various reasons they fell through. Admittedly, at the time, I felt very hurt and defeated because it was like everything I had worked towards got ripped away from me at the last second. I had spent so much time and energy to make this thing happen because I was so desperate for a big change, But looking back now, I am very grateful that things happened the way they did, because they had to play out that way in order for me to receive the best possible outcome, which was doing it all myself, completely in my own control. It just so happened that around the same time, my buddy Tom, who's been my travel partner for years, was ready for a big change in life as well. His lease was ending, so he had a hard deadline with some big decisions to make. So we started having some conversations. What would it look like if we were to leave the country for a while? Where could we go that was affordable, beautiful, and a complete contrast from life back home? And after all of our research, we kept coming back to the same place, Thailand. It ticked all of our boxes, and the more we talked about it, the more it started to feel real and manifest. Once we made the decision, things started to move really quickly. I worked for months saving up money, and once the summertime rolled around, I started letting go of things. Furniture, gear I didn't use, clothing I didn't wear, and eventually my car. Everyone thought I was crazy, but honestly, the craziest part wasn't even selling my car. Staying the same would have been. For me, selling those things was never an issue. It was a commitment to myself, a declaration to the universe that I was ready to detach from everything that made me comfortable, to go and live my dreams. Sometimes taking the biggest risk in life isn't taking one at all. Immediately after finishing up a contract job at Comic-Con, we put everything in motion. We booked a one-way flight, applied for our visas, and booked a hotel for 2 nights. No long-term plan, no drawn-out itinerary, just a bag with a week's worth of clothes, my cameras, and a laptop. A month later, when Tom's lease finally ended in September, we packed up what little was left, said our goodbyes, and we took off, leaving behind our lives, our work, and completely stepping into the unknown. After spending almost a full day traveling, we finally landed in Chiang Mai. We spent that first week hotel hopping around the old city, exploring everything we could within walking distance. Coffee shops, temples, and night markets, trying local street food. All while doing research to find a place to stay longer term. When we finally came across the perfect spot. So here we are. I'm in a really cool spot right outside of the city center of Chiang Mai in Thailand, and this is home for the next 3 months at least. I have no idea what I'm doing or what's next, and that's extremely scary, but also one of the most exciting feelings ever, because I know that whatever comes my way, I'm going to figure it out. Whatever's meant for me will fall into my life, and whatever isn't will fall out. There's definitely a lot of uncertainty with that, a lot more than people would like to put up with, but that's exactly the type of position I like to be in, to make a massive change and evolution. All I want to do is share my experience and hopefully can help someone on their own journey. And this is only the beginning.